Hello and welcome to Continuing Education at Home. I'm Angela Kuyat, the Executive Director for the American College of Hyperbaric Medicine. The college is a professional society dedicated to serving physicians, nurses, and technicians who practice hyperbaric medicine. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or HBO for short, is a treatment which involves giving oxygen in high doses by placing the patient in a hyperbaric chamber. HBO is used to treat patients with a variety of diseases, including severe infections and non-healing wounds. Medical professionals require education and training to practice in the field, to stay current, and to become certified. The college helps them to do this by partnering with organizations that specialize in education. Today on Continuing Education, we are joined by the Director of Operations for WebCME, Ms. Kate Baker.
Hi Angela, thanks for inviting me on the show. I'm happy to be here to discuss online medical education.
Well, thanks. Can you tell us a little bit about what WebCME does?
Sure. WebCME is a Milwaukee-based company. We are a full-fledged production company that specializes in online medical education.
Can you explain in greater detail what medical education is and how WebCME utilizes the internet to deliver this education?
Absolutely. I think this story is best explained by our founder, Dr. Geoffrey Niezgoda. He's a true visionary in medical education, and we do have a short interview with Dr. Niezgoda.
Great, wonderful. Take it away, Dr. Niezgoda.
Well, when I was going through medical school, when I was a medical student, there was no internet. There was no online education. All of the training we got, or I received in medical school, was to sit in a classroom, a big lecture hall, 200-300 students, one lecture, and the lectures would happen at a very fast pace, one after another after another. It was very difficult to keep focused and to absorb all that material that was being presented to us. I can tell you that in addition to sitting in the classroom, we would then study outside the classroom, often till late at night. Be very tired the next morning coming into classroom, and many students, many of my colleagues, myself included sometimes, end up with falling asleep during the lecture. Well, if you're sleeping while information is being presented, guess what? You're not receiving that information, you're not absorbing that information, you're not assimilating, you're not learning. Therefore, online educational platforms are in fact superior to classroom settings. You can take and learn when you're ready to receive that information, when you're rested, when you want to learn it. You can review the material very easily. You can go back into the video and replay a portion of the lecture to go over and emphasize and to highlight and to listen to that information again. In the classroom, you can't ask the instructor very often to back up and give a portion of that presentation again. And so in addition to having the information presented when you're ready to receive it, when you're rested, when you are willing and wanting to learn, in addition to being able to review and go over that material again and again, really and truly makes online education a superior platform. And WebCME's use of the internet, use of online learning, really provides a superior classroom, if you will, to the old-fashioned ways of education. I am a full-time practicing hyperbaric and wound care specialist. As part of my responsibilities as a medical director of one of the major programs here in Milwaukee, I do a lot of educating. I educate the staff, I educate other physicians, I train nurse practitioners. And part of that educational process needs to be teaching, having the students see examples of cases, of technologies, of instruments, and how we do our business. Many times that educational process is accomplished in a classroom, or in a lecture hall, or in a conference. And many years ago I realized that those methods of teaching were outdated, and that there had to be a better way to teach our students and to provide medical education. And I founded WebCME based on the premise that we needed to provide new, novel abilities, different ways to teach, more efficient ways, more effective ways to teach. And realizing that the internet provided us a platform for revolutionizing the educational process, I founded WebCME to utilize the internet to provide education to medical professionals. Well, all medical professionals, whether they're physicians, nurses, or allied healthcare professionals, have schooling. They have to go to school to get a degree. After they have their degree, they're allowed to practice. But because medicine is changing on a daily basis, new technologies, new ways of treating and curing patients happens nearly on a daily basis, the medical professionals, it's mandatory to keep up with those changes, those new processes, new ways of doing things. And the only way to really achieve that is through continuing education. The educational process doesn't stop when you leave medical school. It goes on a forward basis. And therefore, we need to provide, or we need to obtain continuing medical education to maintain our licenses and to maintain our degrees and to continue to practice good medicine. Therefore, WebCME provides the platform for the students to obtain that continuing education on an ongoing basis. And we've taken and gone one step further, and we've made that educational process very effective and easy for the student. They can log on at home and educate themselves, provide themselves with that continuing education. Continuing medical education, the way it's existed prior to our online platform with WebCME, many times required medical professionals to travel to conferences. That travel was expensive for airfare. Once you're there, you need a hotel, you have to pay for meals. It's also expensive because it's time away from the hospital, time away from practice. And so when you're at a conference, you're not working for your patients or for yourself. So there's a cost there as well. And so by providing this educational platform online, WebCME is allowed to be very efficient and very effective. The learning can be done when the healthcare professional has an hour or two to learn. It can be done during the day, it can be done at night, it can be done at the convenience of the medical professional when they're ready to learn. We also keep that person at home, continuing to practice medicine, not taking them away from their family or friends. And so the learning is integrated into their lifestyle. It's not we're taking them out of their life to accomplish the learning. And therefore, it's very effective and very efficient.
As Dr. Niezgoda said, education is an extremely important part for all medical professionals to stay both current in their specialty and maintain their licensure. And WebCME does this all online, allowing students to learn when it's convenient for them, when they're in that state of mind and in the comforts of their own home.
The American College of Hyperbaric Medicine was actually one of the first professional organizations to endorse this novel form of medical education. Online learning has been very well received by our membership. Do you have any plans for future offerings?
Yes, we do. We're very excited. We just added a wound care review course, which is a pathway to certification for clinicians that are looking for that in wound care. And as we speak, we are currently working on our Hyperbaric Medicine Principles and Practice 2nd edition course, which we'll be launching later this year. And as medicine advances and technology improves, the educational information needs to stay up to date. We are looking at a course in hyperbaric safety, a hyperbaric review course, and other really specialized courses in pressure ulcers and medical legal areas.
Great. So how do you produce all of this content? Do you have your own studio?
We do have our own studio. It's a beautiful studio with full green screen and HD capabilities. And I'd actually like to take our audience there and have them get a little tour and some insight from our production director, Wes Tank. He'll be able to talk about our production capabilities and our video work that we are producing.
Great. Let's go to the studio.
Well, this is WebCME. We're here in the studio. This is the control room. Back here is where we do all of our behind-the-scenes work, our editing, our sound designing, our 3D modeling. Out there is where the talent is, obviously, on the green screen. We've got a full lighting grid, soundproofed. All of our phones are patched in through our TriCaster, which is what we do our live switching on. And so we can run different phone lines through that, or Skype, or any sort of computer interface, so that our talent can communicate with the outside world, and we can capture all of that. Well, WebCME's come a long way in the last 5 years that I've been here. It started out, we were strictly doing CME courses for hyperbaric and wound care specifically, and over the last few years we've kind of come into a lot of different sort of opportunities with the video productions that we've been doing. We've been working with a lot of companies, we've been doing social media campaigns, video campaign. We've been doing social media video campaigns for medical companies' websites, and we are really leading the pack in a lot of ways where medical video is often very dry and it's often very boring, and we're taking the lead and adding some pizzazz and adding some fun stuff into that, and exploring new possibilities for what you can do with education, as well as marketing. And so we hold our own with any other production company in town. We're growing, but we do a lot with what we have already, bringing fun and bringing exciting graphics and music and stunning imagery into medical education. And so it's not just somebody standing in front of a PowerPoint, it's video that's flying in, and you're getting a better grasp of it, and it's going to stick in the student's head better, because they're actually engaged and they're sucked into what they're watching, and they're not just turning it on and walking into the other room. They want to watch it. WebCME's continuing to focus on our core, which is medical education, but we are also really getting into commercial promotion for companies providing video for their websites. And that's something that's been really growing for us in the last couple of years, actually. And more we're trying to keep up with the demand. And WebCME is always focused on pushing the boundaries of that and making that better and doing something different. And I think companies are recognizing that, and we're just trying to keep up.
That's very interesting, but the work you do must be really exciting, but it must take some time to get used to looking at all those wounds.
It is exciting work to provide cutting-edge education to clinicians, and the imagery is hard to watch, I mean, without a doubt, at first, but our students become accustomed to it, and so does anyone watching that footage. We feel that we are helping in our own way to improve healthcare across the world by providing excellence in education.
The college members who use WebCME are based in the U.S., but you mentioned earlier that you provide medical education to physicians throughout the entire world.
That's true. The internet certainly provides us with a great tool and a platform for a global classroom. Our courses are taken by healthcare professionals both here in the U.S. as well as internationally.
So working with an international audience and technology must be challenging. How do you keep up with those changes and challenges?
It is difficult, but we have a fantastic team at WebCME, highly skilled individuals that help us in both the technical areas and production and broadcast. Ken Knazer actually can provide us with some insight in this area, as well as tell us about some of the new and exciting projects WebCME will be working on in the near future.
Great.
The internet is something that has evolved over the last, I'd say, 15, 20 years. The internet is now, it's readily available in homes, in offices. It's got the benefit of being pretty much everywhere. It's on our phones and handheld devices and whatnot. To be able to do your learning, to take place your learning at any time is a huge convenience for our customers and our students. And I think the future has been going that way and will continue to move in that direction. Some of the technical challenges that the lack of a face-to-face interaction that's one particular challenge that we've come across. We've actually provided live streaming for our students on a monthly basis so they could actually call in, they could Skype in and ask their questions of the professor as if they were attending a conference and they were approaching the presenter at the end of the lecture. Another I'm trying to think of another challenge that we've come across is some of the technical challenges we've come across. Another one would be the verification that somebody is actually attending a video that's being presented online. We didn't want to run into any problems where somebody would start a video, walk away, and just get credit that way. So we've actually implemented checkpoints along the way that verify that somebody's actually sitting down and watching this video. And then also at the end of each video there's a small post test that we've used to help verify that the student has indeed learned the content. Well, e-learning platforms are, in a sense, an online classroom. They provide instruction for the students, testing, all of those things go together to form what they call an e-learning platform. There's several of them out there that have been used in the industry. I think Blackboard was one of them, I think, and Moodle is another one I know of. But WebCME, we've actually created our own e-learning platform. And as far as keeping up with the changes in technology, we spend quite a bit of time researching and testing our platform, as well as following some of the trends that are happening in technology. For example, our first initial player was built on using Adobe Flash. And Adobe Flash is starting to be kind of phased out of some of the mobile devices, the iPads, iPods. So we're in the process of rebranding our course player with technology that doesn't use Flash, but delivers the proper content for our students. Yeah, WebCME has gone into the video production world, or industry if you would. We've actually done a lot of streaming, live streaming with our green screen technology. We've also done a lot of commercial work, whether it be advertisements for vendors or product training videos. WebCME has utilized its talents in these fields, in these industries. I think one of the shows we're probably most proud of, WebCME has produced the show called Woundwire. Woundwire airs on a monthly basis. It's a live podcast style show with a live audience interaction afterwards, and that interaction is over the telephone, it's over Skype, email, and we provide multiple ways for our audience to connect with the show itself.
So tell me how it all exactly works.
Sure, absolutely. So people will look for online education, and on the internet, just do an internet search for a specific CME. And usually, with search engine optimization being what it is in our website, we're right there on the front page. They log in, create a registration, select what course they want to take, and they can begin watching immediately. At the completion of that course, they instantly have their certificate of completion. And a lot of times that's all people need to maintain certification, show the hospital board that they've completed that educational activity. So they don't have to travel. There's no cost involved, leaving your family, leaving your practice, traveling somewhere, staying somewhere for a week. I mean, these are all things that, people with families think about. So they do have that convenience. It is instant. And then after they complete the course and they have their certificate of completion, I usually get a call about, what's the next step.
So what is the next step then?
So if you're looking to get certified, we don't do certification at WebCME, we do pathways to certification, education, and training. We work closely with the American Board of Wound Healing, and they actually on their website demonstrate pathways to certification and all of the criteria that has to be met before someone can sit for a certification exam. And one of the criteria is achieving some education, which is where WebCME comes into play.
Well, it has been a pleasure talking to you today about the exciting world of medical education. Clearly, you're a strong leader in this field, so I want to thank you for providing our members with this opportunity and, for making it a cost-effective option for the members of the American College of Hyperbaric Medicine.
That is the goal, taking the cost out of that education. And I want to thank you for having me on the program today. Online education is a passion of mine. It is out there for people. They should use it. It's clearly the way of the future.
Well, we're going to close out the show with a few more comments from Dr. Niezgoda.
WebCME, we revolutionized the educational process for medical professionals. The old ways of doing education, CME education, has been changed. Now you can get online education when you want it, at your convenience, whenever and wherever you're ready to learn.
Thank you for joining me. If you want to learn more about the American College of Hyperbaric Medicine, check out www.achm.org. If you're looking for online medical education or you're in need of custom, high-quality video production, you remember WebCME has a fantastic studio, but you can check out their website for more information, which is www.webcme.net. I'm Angela Kuyat, and this has been Continuing Education at Home. Thanks for watching.